Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time seeing me, my name is Benin Francis. On this channel, we share tips on faith, fitness, lifestyle, and how to level up in all those key areas of life so we can be the best version of ourselves. Today, a simple topic, but very important. What we're talking about is fear not, right? So fear not. That term is written 365 times in the Bible, and that's a daily reminder for us to not walk in fear, but to instead walk in faith, understanding that the God of the universe is with us as we move through this life. When we acknowledge him, right? When we ask for his guidance, when we seek him, he walks with us through this life. And we know that if God be for us, who can be against us, right? And we hear these things all the time. And I really even had to question myself, do I truly believe this, right? Now, seriously, you should ask yourself, do you really believe that? Because are you moving like the God of the universe is on your side, or are you kind of half-stepping in life? And that's something that's a daily check-in with yourself when you're going before an opportunity, when you're seeking out relationships, right? When you're starting a business, when you're going through school, anything you're doing in life, anything. Are you moving out of fear? Are you standing in your own way? Or are you moving like God is on your side and doors are opening for you? Because it's truly your mindset that unlocks everything, right? It is impossible to please God without faith. It is our faith that moves God. I mean, there's so many times in scripture as Jesus is moving about, right? He's going from town to town, city to city, region to region. So as Jesus would move about these regions and about these cities, he would say things like, I have not found such a great faith as this. Or he would say things like, oh, ye of little faith, right? When am I going to leave this generation that lacks faith? Because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It is actually a substance, right? And it moves and it shifts things, and you can't see it though, but you can believe it because all things are possible to him who believes. So what I want you guys to understand, I'm trying to bring this down because when I really started to walk in this, it changed my life. And it is something that I do every single day before I make a decision. I have to ask myself, am I moving out of fear or am I moving like God is with me? You get what I'm saying? You got to really, we get one life. We get one life, and we cannot move out of fear because God did not give us a spirit of fear. It says God gave us a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind, right? So power, love, and a sound mind or self-control, not fear. Fear comes from the enemy. It doesn't come from God. So I want you guys to take inventory of your life and ask yourself, am I moving out of fear or am I moving out of faith? Because what happens is we are the only ones standing in our own way. You're the only person that's telling yourself that no one's gonna like your content. You're the only person telling yourself that you're not smart enough to get into that school you want to get into. You're the only one telling yourself that you don't deserve that relationship. You're the only one telling yourself that you shouldn't be in the spot that you should be in. You're the only one telling yourself that you have imposter syndrome and somehow you shouldn't be where you're supposed to be at in life. Bro, you made it there for a reason. You're called there for a reason. If you're different, if you have a different perspective, that organization, that team needs you there for a reason. You bring a different energy, a different perspective. So don't waste time on feeling like an imposter, bro. Just stop being scared, bro. Stop being afraid. Stop moving like God is not with you. You get what I'm saying? I need you to stop moving like God is not with you. God is with you. I'm here to tell you that God is with you, bro. Stop moving like he's not with you. Stop moving about life like, oh my gosh, tippy-toeing through life. Because there's people out here who don't believe, who don't really trust in God, who don't really know God. And honestly, they're so like delusioned and so confident that they can move in, they can just shake a room because they don't have any fear stopping them. And here you are as a believer, as a child of God, or somebody who, is claiming to believe, and yet you're moving afraid. That just doesn't make sense. Because through God and through his power, we have a dominion, we have an authority that we can walk into a room, we can shift the energy in the room. We're the light of the world, right? The salt of the earth. You bring a certain light and a certain energy. So I just came to simply remind you, right? To fear not. Do not move out of fear. Do not be afraid. We walk by faith. We don't walk by sight. We don't walk by the things that we can see. I don't care what your situation looks like right now. I don't care what family background you came from right now. I need you to understand, we don't move by what we see. We move by faith, right? All right, now before we go, I want to leave you guys with one passage, right, from the Holy Scriptures just to think about, right? And, whether or not you believe or you're still wrestling with the claims, I mean, you can believe this as a story, but I just want you to just hear I want you to hear what I'm about to say right now. I'm gonna leave this with you. So there's a passage in the scripture where God has promised land, holy land, right, to his chosen people. And he organizes a group. He says, hey, we're going to send out a certain number of men to go spy out this land. You're going to go look upon it, right? And you're going to come back and they're going to give report to the people, right? Essentially to let them know, hey, can we get this land? How does the land look? How many people are there, etc. They're supposed to spy it out, come back and give report. So he sends out a certain number of men. You can go back and read this if you want, right? Sends out a certain number of men to spy out this region, right? Now, only 2 men out of the entire group that he sent came back with a positive report. Everyone else are saying, oh, we can't do this. Oh, they said they're like giants in the land. And you know what they said? They said, we looked upon these people and we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes. And what they essentially were saying is that these people are so big and so giant and so dreadful that it makes us feel so small, like tiny little ants or grasshoppers. And the thing that's so funny about this passage is that they formed that opinion and they formed that assumption without ever actually talking to anybody or interacting with anybody in the land. It was their own mindset. They said we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, in our own eyes. So they saw a situation, they saw a territory, they saw an opportunity, they saw a relationship, they saw a business that God promised them, and they chose to think that they couldn't do it because of their own self-esteem, because of fear. But 2 men, right? I believe it was Caleb and Joshua. They said, we can surely take the land. We can do this. They said, we can roll this land over. They said, the ground is good. The fruit is good. Falling off the vine. We can do this. So as a result of that, really those 2 men were the ones that really ended up actually going into the land. You can go back and read it, but everybody else that was fear mongering and moving out of fear and not trusting and not believing God, they didn't even pass over into the promised land because disobedience to God is like witchcraft. Like disobeying God when he promised you something, you actually are going against God because you're calling God a liar. If God says you can do something and your response is, oh, no, I can't, you're calling God a liar. Are you not? So I just want you to have the mindset if God called you to it, he will see you through it. Truly. Fear not. He's with you. All right. This is your sign. Right. It's been your boy, Benny Francis. Thank you for watching my video. I will have more topics coming out. If you guys have any questions or you ever want to see any video topics or things discussed, drop it in the comment section down below. Continue to share the video. Get the message out to people, to someone who you think wants to hear it. I'm also available for some coaching. Shoot me a DM on my social media. I'll leave that in the description at Benin.Francis. Some one-on-one calls. We can definitely set that up. But you guys be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.